Hello, everybody. Sorry. I'm a little bit late. I'm still adjusting. I've literally just walked in the door. Good evening and welcome to live session number 5 out of 21. This one, we're talking all about the wheel of life to bring back more balance. And I'll be honest, I was really struggling today because I was like, this is hard. This is hard doing 21 lives in a row. So thank you to everyone that's joining me, and thank you for the accountability, because without you guys watching, without you guys commenting and replying to my stories and everything, I probably would have given up. So it's a good it's a good thing for accountability. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the wheel of life. Now, if you have done anything with me before, you may have already done this. You may have seen the wheel of life in other aspects. Perhaps it's an exercise that you've done before as well. We do it a little bit differently at the Anti-Burnout Club because we use the 5 foundations of wellness for this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is and why we use it, and then we're going to go through a wheel of life exercise. This is printed off. Here we go. This is what it looks like. You may have seen this before. So the wheel of life is basically a way of measuring how your life is going at the moment. And it's really good for bringing back balance, because you can see what areas of your life are going really well and what areas of your life might need a little bit of improvement. So if you feel as though you are really stressed and overwhelmed, if things are getting a bit too much, then it might be that it's because some of these areas of your life are completely out of whack, out of balance. So it's really good for measuring different aspects of your life and then picking one to focus on. So a lot of the time we kind of think, I need to make changes, but I don't know where, I don't know what's stressing me out. And so using this is a really good tool to be like, okay, this probably needs a little bit of work. I'm going to focus on this. So as I've shown you, the wheel of life looks like this. This is a blank one. And I know that it's backwards on Instagram. I'm very sorry. But this is a blank one. And this is the one that we're going to use. So I filled this in here, and I'll go through each of these categories and we will do our own little wheel of life. Now, at the end of this, when I put this up, I will give you a link to a download, or you can do your own. You can literally just draw out a circle, and you've got 10 spaces, so you can, you're upside down, you can draw out a circle with 10 spaces and you can do your own scores. So the key here is to be very honest and open, and it might be that you want to put in your comments what your score is. You're going to give yourself a score out of 10 for how this area of your life is going. So the first area is the basics. So how are things like your sleep, your nutrition, and your hydration? Those very basic things. How is that going? And 0 is the least, so not great at all. So you would be in the center of the circle, and 10 would be all the way at the top. It's going really well. So if you're doing this live along with me, just jot it down or just think about it for now. Between 1 and 10, how are the basics going in your life? The next category is physical health. So again, between 1 and 10, or 0 and 10 if you want to go use the middle of the wheel as well. How is your physical health? So this could be if you have physical health conditions, for example. It might be that you're managing them really well. It might be that you've got the right things in place, so it's a high score. Or it might be that you're really struggling with your physical health. And physical health can also include movement. So do you feel like you're moving your body in a way that works for you at the moment? Okay, number 3. I know this is backwards on Instagram, I'm sorry, is connection to myself. So do you feel connected to yourself right now? Do you feel like you can check in with yourself and you know how you're feeling? This can be a hard one, actually, because you might think, well, I don't know. And if you don't know, then there's a good chance that connection to myself is probably quite low. But if you feel quite intuitive, if you feel like, yeah, I know how I'm doing, I know how I'm feeling quite a lot of the time, then connection to myself would be quite high. The next one is connection to others, so social connection. Yesterday, we spoke about social isolation and burnout. So it might be that that is something that resonates with you and that you do feel quite isolated or alone right now. It might be that you haven't seen a lot of friends or family recently. So that would mark it quite low, between 1 and 10. Or it might be that you love your social life, you don't feel stressed out about it at all, and it's a 10 out of 10. Okay, the next one on the wheel of life is mental well-being. So how is your mental health right now? And be really honest with this. I think sometimes we can fall into the trap of saying, I'm fine, I just plod along, I'm getting on with it. Today, I've had a really bad mental health day, and I'm not sure if it's pregnancy hormones or something else is going on, but I felt really teary and I felt really rubbish. And so today, I'd probably mark that quite low. But it might be that you want to think, okay, well, today was a bit of a blip, but actually over the last week, I felt pretty good. So I'm going to give it a 5 or a 6, it's somewhere in the middle. So think about these, not necessarily just for today. If you've had a specifically lonely day, then connection to others might be hard, or a specifically sad day, the mental well-being might not be quite so high. So try and think about it maybe over the last week. The next one on here is growth and learning. And this is one that always scores high for me because it's something that I love to do. So how do you feel you are growing and developing and learning? Do you feel like that is something that is quite high in your life, that takes a high priority and that you enjoy? Or do you feel as though you don't really have any opportunities to learn or grow or develop at the moment? So that's kind of the first half of the circle. And that's what we call the 5 foundations of wellness. I know there's 6 because we split connection into connection to myself and connection to others. And then there's a few more here. And this is where you may want to go off tangent and do your own, because some of these might not apply to you. But the next one is job and career. So if you are working right now, or if you are looking for work, then how is your job and career? The one after that is home and family. Then we have love and relationships, and finally money and finance. So these ones are completely interchangeable, and they can be categories that reflect your life better than, if you don't work at the moment. If you're retired, for example, then job or career is not really something high up. You might want to swap that with hobbies. If love and relationships isn't on your radar right now, then you can swap that one for something else as well. But the key is the first 6 are the most important. They're the 5 foundations of wellness. So they're your solid foundations for well-being. And then the 4 are the other aspects of your life, like money and finance, home and family, and anything that's interchangeable. So once you've marked these off, I'm going to quickly do mine now so you can see what this looks like. It's really dark in here. I've literally walked in. So the basics, I'm doing pretty well. Physical health, everything hurts because I'm pregnant. Connection to myself is pretty high. Connection to others, not so great. Mental well-being, like I said, I'm going to pop that in the middle. Growth and learning, I'm doing pretty well. Job, career, I'm here, I'm doing it. So that's going to go there. Home, family, I could do with some work on my home. Love, relationships, yes. Money, finance is always the lowest one for me. So you'll see that you end up crossing them off like this, right? So these are your scores. And then you get one color pen. Let's see if this one works. Oh, do you know what? I don't think this one does. Oh, we've got a purple, right? Okay. And I'm going to draw a line. Sorry that you can't see this. I will show you in a sec. I'm going to draw a line, a circle, very squiggly circle across these, right? Can you see that just about, maybe? Now, you're never going to get this in balance. And trust me when I say I've been doing this. I do this once a month to evaluate where I am in life. Getting this in balance is hard. There's always going to be something that is out of whack. For me, you can see it's money, finance at the moment. Everything is really expensive. I can't afford anything. I'm really, really struggling. And so money, finance is my biggest stress. And I know that this month, that's what's been causing me the majority of my stress, right? So I know that I need to focus on bringing that score up. So once you've done this, keep it and ask yourself some questions. And then at the end of the month, come back to it and see how you score again. And Emma says, love the flexibility of these categories. Yes, because I feel like, I could make all these categories up to you, but it's not necessarily going to work for your life. So definitely go with the 5 foundations of wellness, those first 6 categories, and then pick 4 of your own. Okay, so the questions that you want to ask yourself, how do these scores make me feel? How do I feel once I've completed the Wheel of Life? Actually, I'm really happy because although I haven't been having a great time of things, I can see that things are going okay for me. My physical health isn't the best right now, but it's still pretty high. Connection to myself is high. Social needs a little bit of work, but overall, I would say that I'm happy with the scores that I've got right now. And I know that there's just a little bit that needs some work. The next question is, which category would I like to spend more time on? So, as I've said, mine is money finance, and that means really just gaining control over that. I can't necessarily change a lot. I can't change how much my utility provider is charging me for gas and electricity, but I can gain a little bit of control in my budget and what I'm spending on other things, and just bring some control back into that area so that I don't feel quite so overwhelmed. Which category would I like to spend less time on? Now, this is really interesting because, as I said, you will never get full balance, right? So we have to think, well, what needs to shift a little bit for me to spend a bit more time on money finance? And like I said, growth and learning for me is always really high up because I enjoy it. I'm going to shift a little bit of that time that I spend reading or studying into creating my budget, into spending a bit more time on my finances. And really, for me, that's growth and learning as well, so it does kind of tie in. But if you look at this and you think, oh, the basics are really taking a hit, but my social life is buzzing, maybe I need to go out a few less nights this week and get some good sleep, right? So think about, some of these will be really obvious as to what you can take a little bit from. Some of these might need a little bit more thinking about. Some of them you might be like, I don't want to sacrifice anything. So maybe money finance will have to stay that low. But if it's causing a great amount of stress, then do think about what you can borrow from. And what small steps can I take to improve that one category? So for me, it's money finance. I know that I need to go through my bank statement, see what's going wrong, see if I can change any of my outgoings, see if there's anything I can do to bring in some more incomings, and basically do a little step by step. And if you're a member of our free platform, we do a goal setting workshop every month and we break everything down into little steps. So you can always come and join us for that, or just come and pinch the goal setting workbook if you want to do it on your own and just break it down into little steps. And that's that. That's how it works. That was probably the quickest I've ever explained the Wheel of Life. I'm like, whew. But there are downloads. There's another workshop that I did on this. It's all free on the Anti-Burnout Club platform. I will include a link to that as well. So if you're like, that was super quick. I will include a link in my stories if you're watching on Instagram, and in the Facebook comments if you're watching on Facebook. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm back tomorrow morning for a little mindful moment because I thought we'd do something a little bit different for the next live. And I will see you then. Take care. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.